music to my ears every time I hear Candy.
I know we talked vocal chain throughout the interview and things like that. You have like one piece that, you know, that is really just, you feel like you couldn't live without doing what you're doing.
Honestly, the first thing that comes off from the band is analyzers. I don't think if to say a bunch of synths and cool gear and whatever, mics and all that stuff, it's great, whatever. It doesn't matter at the end. Honestly, it really doesn't. Like, you have a laptop and you have a good set of ears and like a decent sounding room and whatever. If it's like a kind of whack, like you can get away with like headphones nowadays pretty far at least, and then if you have you have a good mixing engineer down the line, or even if you do it yourself. I mean, I know people who master in headphones, but analyzers, like learn analyzers, learn frequency analyzers, learn spectrographs, learn to know what a good like frequency spectrum looks like, learn to look at what transients look like on like a different analyzers. All that stuff is super important. Like my favorite plugin for that, actually there's two now. One just came out. It's called Vision 4X from my all-time favorite dance music group of all. I'm so excited that they're finally doing plugins. Like I'm like nerding out like so bad. I like pay for their Patreon. It's like going to like university for science from music. But Noisia, the drum and bass group, they came out with a new visualizer. It's got a frequency spectrum, a spectrograph, all that stuff, and a vector graph. And anyway, so the reason is because, I'm always like bouncing around different places, different rooms, different environments. I'm like, I might be in a songwriting session. If I know what the visually like a ballpark place for where I need to be at, and then I can kind of comfortably go from place to place and get a fairly standardized level of production, at least to a point where like I know that okay, my subs aren't like crazy, like my high end isn't crazy, like I'm not destroying the mix in some way like you can easily. So, and like Adapter is the other plugin. I think it's called from Plugin Alliance, or I know they actually sell it, but that one is great because you can I have a big list of mixing engineers and genres that I like to A/B against when I'm working on. So if I'm working on like something like more dance heavy, I go to my dance playlist. If I go into some R&B stuff, I'm referencing R&B stuff. I also reference a lot back to my own work, like previous mixes that I've done, just to be like, have consistency. Even if you're working on a record, like you want to make sure that one song is good against the other song, like the mixes are balanced and all that. So like, I would say that's my number one thing. Like, amazing. 100% sure,
dude. Yeah, that's great. To follow up on that, I think Isotope just released a new analyzer as well.
Okay.
That
I love this stuff.
Yeah. I recently checked out. It's pretty cool. But dude, I love that answer. I'm a huge proponent of that, and literally staring at like the clarity, like the TC clarity meter, like right in front of me right now. So
there you go. Yeah, exactly.
We are firm believers in that, and that even in the way that runs is like kind of just like a plug-in insert, but it has a physical display that you can kind of just always be running right there. You throw it on a stereo track, throw it on the mix bus, whatever it is. That's awesome, and that's kind of exactly why we got that on a whim back when we got our like Quest heads and we're putting together the studio. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then, like years into it, I was like, honestly, all of the other stuff can go, but take my eyes, but not the clarity, so like you're totally right. Cause it's that, it's that great, well, I want to say equalizer, but it's that great analyzer, in terms of like trying to make sure stuff translate and knowing from project to project, where you're at and what your baseline is. Nico, that is some seriously great advice, dude.
No, cool. I'm glad you guys agree on that analyzer tip.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll have to look up the Noisia one too.
Yeah, please. Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
The one you said you like.
It's
okay. Cool.
Yeah,
I'll check that out.
I actually. Funny you bring up Oliver. Yeah, that's I'm looking at my reference playlist and like.
Yep.
There you go. Splice King.
Their remix of I think Joywave, the Dangerous remix.
Yeah,
fucking blows my mind every time.
yeah. I mean, yeah, they're the ultimate goats. Like, ever so incredible, and like, yeah, I'm just I'm like, I mean, that's another. I could have a whole conversation about those dudes, and I mean, they're like the reason I signed with Pulse Music Group is like because they were there, like literally.
Amazing.
It's like I want to hang with those dudes, and then
yeah.
eventually I was roommates with one of them, and I'm good friends with I mean, both of them, but like, I mean, Vaughn, like I worked together with him all the time. I actually just ran it. It was so funny. I was going to Orlando with my wife to this karate event, and like I was at the checking, like, just got past the security, and somebody goes, "Hey, where are you guys going?" And it was Vaughn. I was like, he was just like going to Hawaii. So it was so funny. I was just like ran into him there. But yeah, he's OG homie, the goat of all goats. So fun working with those dudes.
So cool.
Hell yeah. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed this answer to Gear Candy. Right up my alley.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was a great one.
That could be its own friggin' 6-hour podcast if you start me on software and
honestly,
all that stuff.
we'll have you back for a whole full length Gear Candy episode if you want to. Anytime. The pleasure, I'm sure, would be all ours. But for now, this has been great, and we truly appreciate the time, Nico. This was rad.
Nice. Same. Thank you for having me.
Music to my